All right, thank you so much for joining us on our 77th edition of Lunch Out Loud Ottawa. My name is Nick Pachuski.
And I'm Andrew Miller.
And of course, we're the podcast that talks to the people, places, events, and music that make this city the incredible city that it is. And before we get to our special guest, Patrick Gauthier, from the director of the Ottawa Fringe Festival, why don't we check this out?
Hi there, this is Brock Zeman you're listening to. Come join me at Westfest at 6 o'clock this Saturday or at www.brockzeman.com.
So that was Brock Zeman. Visit his website, brockzeman.com. Of course, 6 p.m. Saturday night at Westfest. New album out now, so check that out as well. So just before we start, I'd like to thank Chef X approached us last week to have us try one of their packages that they do weekly.
Amazing.
It's an amazing. So what Chef X is a home delivery service. They find all locally sourced ingredients, chop it up into basically what you need for a specific recipe. The recipe is produced by a chef that's from our local region.
Yeah, lots of great ones on there too. Like the one that I got was from Chloe, and her last name escapes me, from Whalesbone.
Oh, was it? That was from Whalesbone.
Yep. And then, there's a variety of other ones. Mary Soul is in there as well. And Steve Mitten. We got people from Union 613 in there. There's a list of about 15 chefs, I think. But absolutely fantastic. Basically, if you like gourmet food and you love cooking and love entertaining, this is the way to do it. You sign up, they send the food right to you, all the ingredients prepackaged, like Nick said, and already portioned out for you too, so it's quite easy. You can sit there and whip up an amazing meal, and you learn pretty much foolproof. And then you get to keep the recipe. Yeah, so you have the recipe for
next time, so you know when to serve it again.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right, so we are here with Patrick Gauthier, and as the Fringe Festival is starting up very soon, June 19th to the 29th. There's a lot of action going on in the office.
Yeah,
we're lucky that we're recording while an orientation session's going on, right?
Yeah. We have a volunteer orientation happening right now upstairs, where we have 300 plus volunteers.
There's 300 people upstairs.
Well, this is a third of four sessions. So there's probably about 80 people upstairs right now.
Okay, I was going to say it's going to be pretty hard to get all 300 on.
But you said you have a total for the whole festival of approximately 300 volunteers. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Is that a big increase from last year's? Or?
It's an increase from last year. I'm not sure how big, but it's definitely more than we've had in the past.
Because we've added a couple venues for this.
We've added venues, and we've strengthened kind of our volunteer outreach, and we've got someone on a more permanent basis who comes in and does our volunteer management. So the festival and the organization is growing, and getting more volunteers is just part of that growth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're awesome. So we'll get to that in just a moment. But first, we always like to get to know our guests a little more. So, and one way we do that is get to know your kind of favorite hangouts in this area. So we're at the Arts Court, right?
Yep.
Arts Court, I think, on the third floor.
Second floor.
Second floor.
It's very
There's
confusing.
A lot of
building.
stairs. Yeah,
it's a super confusing building.
A lot of stairs.
Yeah.
It's a very confusing building.
I work here, and sometimes I try to find an office and I can't do it. So don't feel bad.
Hey, we went the back way, and we came up surprisingly.
Club Sauce.
Yeah.
So we came in through Club Sauce. So what are some of your favorite locations if you go for lunch or after work?
Around here, actually, right across the street is the Albion Rooms.
Yes.
They've just kind of they're not that new, but probably within the last year they've opened up.
Yeah.
And they're in the bottom of the Novotel Hotel. And that's a great place. Local food, local beer.
Oh, wow. I've never been there.
Yeah.
Steve Lascelles is an amazing chef.
They're catering our opening night, actually.
Really?
So for our kickoff party on June 18th, they're going to be doing catering. And they're also offering a late night menu during the festival. So
wow.
I think it's 10 dishes for $10 after 10 p.m.
At
the Albion Rooms just across the street. Yeah, so that's our kind of go-to in this neighborhood because they're right there and they're so fantastic. We also occasionally hit the Highlander.
Okay.
Just across the street on Rito.
Right on. Are you going to be watching any World Cup action around there?
I'm going to try. I'm not a huge soccer guy.
Yeah.
More of a baseball person.
Okay, that's all right.
So I try every year. I try to watch soccer, and I just really have a hard time.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
Where do actors that come to Ottawa, when they come to Ottawa, they know, I have to go here, or they bring other friends that they meet on the Fringe circuit to Ottawa, where do they want to go whenever they're here?
It depends what neighborhood they're in. Kind of if they're around here, everyone kind of hits Elgin Street Diner.
Okay.
That's a place that everyone always goes.
They like going there for the poutine?
Yeah. The Oak is very popular always because they're kind of everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But different Fringe artists go to different places. A lot of people talk about going to the Dom or Zaphods. They venture that far into the market. Mercury Lounge, if they're looking to do something a bit more exciting than just sit in a pub.
Yeah. Where do they generally stay when they come visit?
Various places. We offer billeting, so kind souls open their houses to Fringe artists for no cost. And the Fringe artists stay there, so they're kind of placed all around the city.
Wow.
Some who prefer a bit more privacy will stay at the university. Those in the dorms, they can get a room for like $25 a night.
Yeah.
So they'll do that, and a few will stay at the hostel.
Wow. How many billets are there in this city?
This year I think we've got 10 to 15 people who are hosting Fringe artists.
Yeah. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And a lot of on the circuit that's reciprocated across.
Oh, absolutely. I used to tour back when I was still performing. I would tour, and it's kind of a karma thing where you take someone in, and then when you hit the road, someone will take you in.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a great way for to travel very cheaply. Sometimes the accommodation is fantastic. It's a spare room, or if you're really lucky, it gets a whole house while someone's away. Sometimes it's a couch in a living room, but anything is welcome when you're on tour.
And those are great experiences because then you get to learn about the city a little more.
Absolutely.
You get to meet the Bills and family. They're pumped to see you. They're pumped to see your play. So that works very well. So
what about, we always ask people with the food questions and whatnot. What would you say are some other good spots in Ottawa to check out some local talent then, as far as it goes for theater or whatnot?
Like just theatrically, or
yeah, I guess so, or even hotspots you like to go to for different music.
I live in Hindenburg, so that's the kind of neighborhood that I kind of haunt. I'm Hindenburg Public House, I'm there all the time. Other places, we kind of jump all over the place on kind of Wellington and Richmond.
Okay.
Absinthe, Carlton's great. They also do a lot of theater there.
One of the oldest pubs in town.
Yeah, and they, there's a group, Chamber Theater Hindenburg. They just did a production of Death of a Salesman.
Okay.
Really? Out of the pub, and you would think like Death of a Salesman in a pub, but it actually really worked quite well.
Really?
Yeah.
We need to see more of that happen.
Absolutely.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's a
more
great kind of
going throughout the year.
Yeah, community.
That's kind of why I brought it up. I think it's something that needs to be brought out a bit more. So.
Yeah.
How long have you been involved in dramatic arts then?
Since I was in grade 2, I played a crab in a
Naturally.
school production.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I was any good, but I wore a red footless onesie, I think was my outfit. One of the trapdoor things.
Do you still have it?
I don't think so. My parents may. I don't think so. But I did the high school drama thing, and then at university, theater was my major at Ottawa U. And then I did some work and moved to Vancouver and did my MFA at UBC.
Okay.
So I took MFA in directing. So I'm a trained director.
Wow.
And then moved back here for work in 2008, and I've been working in Ottawa ever since.
What drove you back to Ottawa from Vancouver? Because a lot of people, when they go out there, they stay.
Yeah.
So we're proud to have you back.
Yeah, well, I finished, and I was kind of, where do I want to live? And there was a job opening that came up here. Not with the Fringe, but with another company in town. So I applied and I got the job, and it was going to be temporary. It was going to be like, I'll move back to Ottawa for a while, see my friends, kind of hang out for a year. It was a 1 year maternity leave contract.
Okay.
So I thought I would just cover that, and then who knew what would happen. And then I just kept getting work, so
Wow.
I stuck around.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And how did you get involved with the Fringe Festival then?
I was a Fringe performer. I came to the Fringe for the first time in 2001. As an audience member, and saw a show which was not the show I thought I was going to see. I thought I was going to see a show. I looked in the program, was like, yeah, that's the show I want to see. I went to it. Not unbeknownst to me, that show had pulled out of the festival at the last minute. So it wasn't in the program. So I was sitting in this thing, and 5 minutes in, I was like, this is not what I thought I was seeing. So that was my kind of first Fringe experience. That I wouldn't say turned me off, it just confused me. So that's all I saw that year. And then in 2002, a friend of mine came to me and said, we should do a show in the Fringe. So in 2002, I started performing. And then I've been involved as either a performer, a playwright, a director, or a staff member with the Fringe ever since 2002.
Oh, and then now you're full time.
Now I run the festival.
Now you run the festival.
So what are some of the duties that you have to maintain there?
Artist liaison, that's a big one, right? Like, talking to the artists, making sure that they have what they need. I run the Auto Fringe is programmed by lottery, right? So anyone can enter. You can have zero theatrical experience, or you could be you could be Ian McKellen, and you have equal chance of getting into the Fringe. Wow. Basically, you apply, and then we hold a party in November. We draw names out of a hat, and then the first 60 names we draw out of a hat or whatever, they are the programming.
How many applicants did you get?
We had 175 this year.
175.
And we tier it too. So 50% of the spots are reserved for local companies, which we define as Ottawa-Gatineau. 35% are for national companies, which is Canada but not Ottawa-Gatineau, and then 15% are international.
Wow. Where are international ones coming from this year?
This year we have a bunch of Americans. It's random because it's a lottery, right? It can vary from year to year.
Yeah.
A ton of Americans this year. A couple of Brits, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess we should talk about what is a Fringe Festival for some people that might be wondering. What is a Fringe Festival?
Yeah, so Fringe is an not open source. It's an open, accessible arts festival. So, like I said, it's programmed via lottery. So, as I just explained, anyone can do it. You need no experience. This year we have people who have done Fringes. We have people who've done every Fringe since it's been to Ottawa. And we have people who are doing it for the first time. We have theater students all the way to people who've never done theater in their life. Mm-hmm. So that's really kind of cool. Anyone can do it. There's no access to entry except the fee. So you get in. So you submit to be part of the lottery, and then we pull your name out of a hat, and you pay a $560 fee, and that gets you 6 shows, a technician, a venue, gets you in the Fringe program, general festival advertising, and then it gets you box office services. So it gets you volunteers. To take your tickets, to be ushers, all that kind of thing.
Wow.
And then 100% of the box office goes back to the artists.
Wow.
So we take basically the $560 fee, and then however tickets they sell, they get all that money. So there's no restriction on content or on form. Whatever they want to do, they can do, and we're okay with that.
That's cool.
And how do you place them in the specific different venues? Because how many venues do you have right now?
So we have 5. There's 14 venues across the festival. We run 5, and then there are 9. We call them BYOVs. They're called Bring Your Own Venues.
Okay.
So there's 2 ways to get into the Fringe. There's the lottery and there's BYOV. So if you get in via the lottery, you basically send us a technical questionnaire. We send you some questions. Mm-hmm. How many lighting cues do you have? How much stage space do you need? Are there any firearms? How tall is your set? That kind of thing.
Firearms.
And then we, it's a problem.
Well,
Americans.
I don't know.
And so then we look at those technical questionnaires, we look at our venues, and we place people in the most appropriate venue for their show.
Gotcha.
So if you're a solo show, if you're a solo performer, you're doing stand-up comedy or a monologue or whatever, we'll very likely put you in a more intimate venue. If you've got a cast of 12 and large set pieces and all this technical requirements, we'll probably stick you in one of our larger venues because you just need more stage space.
Yeah.
So that's the lottery. So if you didn't get in the lottery but you still want to participate, you can do what we call the Bring Your Own Venue, which is you get all the same benefits of being in the festival, except you find your venue yourself and you manage it yourself.
Okay.
So they pay a slightly lower fee, but they still get in the program, they still get the volunteers, they still get 100% of their box office. That all remains the same. But instead of being in one of our 5 venues, this year we've got the Avant-Garde Bar across the street. Mm-hmm. That's a venue. Mercury Lounge is a venue. A couple of church basements are serving as venues.
Cool.
So those kind of places.
And that's over above the 60?
That is included in the 60.
Oh, that's included in the 60.
Yeah. So we actually had 42 lottery companies this year and 18 BYOV companies.
18 BYOVs. Now, in terms of has there been any major flops? Like, what if Andrew and I decided, we'll do one. We'll pay $560. We want to burn some money. Yeah. And we just sit up there and talk for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Does that stuff happen?
It does. I mean, it happens, right? It's a thing where you can make a decent amount of money on the Fringe. I know Fringe artists
just lied on the program of what we're going to do. And
word would get out, because the thing with the Fringe is word of mouth is king at the Fringe.
Okay.
Yeah. And social media, Twitter and Facebook have kind of really democratized that. Where it used to be, when I started fringing, 12 years ago now, it would be going to the Fringe Club, going to the bars, seeing other shows, being in lineups with people and just saying, hey, what have you seen? What's good? Mm-hmm. What should I see? Oh yeah, great. Circling things in your program.
Yeah.
But now especially with Twitter, you just go on and you check the hashtag and you can just see what people are saying about all the different shows.
And looking past Fringe festivals, like when was the last previous Fringe festival before this one? Where was it located?
Oh, here.
No.
In Montreal. The Montreal Fringe Festival is happening right now.
Okay. Okay. So you could look at the Montreal Fringe Fest Twitter feed, boom, and then make your picks for the.
Absolutely. Well, it's kind of an advanced. What used to happen is, and it still happens to a certain extent, but reviewers from some cities would come to earlier festivals. Mm-hmm. So like the reviewer from the Winnipeg Free Press would come to Ottawa, review all the shows that were going to be in Winnipeg, and then they'd post early reviews as a way to get like early buzz.
That's a good idea.
Now they still do that, not as much. But again, you just go on Twitter and you see what's hot at Montreal. Oh, and what is coming here.
Yeah, I think I'd rather get a person's view from Twitter as opposed from the Winnipeg Free Press guy.
Yeah, and it's just word of mouth, right? Because it's the newspapers, the reviewers have so much power. Mm-hmm. But now, again, you can just check the hashtag.
Yeah, more multiple buzz that way.
Yeah.
You also have a free concert series, so can you tell us a bit about what's going on? Was last year the first year?
Last year was the first year.
Yeah,
we've done music in the courtyard before, but last year was the first year we really pushed it as a part of the festival. So we have what we call the Fringe Courtyard, which is our kind of beer tent, food, lounge, hangout area, which is located just next to Arts Court in Waller Park, which is just a green plot of land.
Where Arboretum is located?
Yes, exactly. This is the place. Last year we did a series of free concerts. This year we're doing a few more, and they're going to start on Wednesday the 18th, and they run. I think we've got 5 or 6 nights of free music. People can just come to the courtyard, hang out, have a couple of drinks, eat some food, and then hopefully, one of the goals of the concert series is to get people who might not think of coming to a theater festival down to the site.
Yeah, exactly.
And then see a free concert, and then maybe I'll go to a play as well.
Well, and you also meet the artists. I remember last year I talked to several of the artists, and it was such a fun time because they're from other parts of the country, and you get their views. It's just a different crowd than a typical night out in Ottawa. So I really suggest that people go out. We got Still Native on the first night on the Wednesday the 18th. Django Libre, who I know Gregory has told tons of
he really pushed them. He's like, you got a program.
He really likes them. Yeah. He's told me about them before. Adam Cycli Quartet or
Quintet.
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 Yeah. Three Little Birds on the Thursday. Friday you got Highs from Toronto. Saturday, of course, Silk and Lauman and Possible DJ as well. So that's great programming right there. So
and at a great price.
Yeah.
Can't beat it.
You always like the free.
I do.
All right, so what we'll do right now is take a quick break, and we'll come back with Patrick Gauthier, the director of the Fringe Festival, and we're going to talk about some upcoming shows that you might want to check out. So hopefully you join us back in just a moment. Here's the next song from Brock Zeman. It's called Rotten Tooth from the album of the same name.
We start by loosening the tooth and then remove it from its socket. Depending on the situation, it's sometimes helpful to cut the tooth into sections before removal. We may offer nitrous oxide gas to relax you, and we'll numb the area to make you comfortable.
Well, I got a spider tattooed on my left shoulder. It make me jump every time I see myself in the mirror. You know that gimme's my middle name. And then I'm one part Judas and another part Cain. family's mine. Then only right to them, my family's mine.
All right, so thank you very much, Brock Zeman. Of course, check him out at Westfest, and of course, check out all the acts. Ashley McIsaac on Saturday. You got A Tribe Called Red playing one of their. If you're going to see them for free, this is going to be the place to see it. Sunday night. Check the weather. It looks 26 degrees, sunny all day. That's where you want to be Sunday night after some World Cup soccer, and of course, walking up and down Westfest or Italian Fest. Or both of them. Do them.
Just take a real long walk.
Just take a real long walk up down Preston, make it down Somerset.
Steal someone's Ferrari.
Go down Somerset, make it all the way. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So Patrick, let's run through some. I'm very interested to hear some crazy ideas and some interesting little.
Okay, so this is really hard for me, right? Because there's 60 shows, and the kind of standard line is that trying to choose which shows are your favorites. Is which of my kids is my favorite? The younger one. But anyway.
Always.
So I'm just gonna, and with Fringe it's hard too because so much of the work is new. So it's never been seen before.
Yeah.
And one of the great things about Fringe is it's a great place because it's so accessible for artists. It's a place where they can very easily, with a small investment from themselves, take a risk.
Yeah.
So sometimes they try things and it's fantastic. Sometimes they try things and it flops terribly.
Do you see a lot of repeat people that come in? They try one show one year, works out or doesn't work out, and then they're back again with a new show the next year?
Absolutely, yeah. It happens all the time. Or people will come and try a show one year, will work on it, and then do it again the next year, and it'll be better. So it's kind of a development cycle for them.
Yeah.
So I've kind of highlighted some things that I'm going to try and see.
Okay.
But again, this is the caveat that they could be the greatest thing ever or not even close to that.
And that's what the fun part about the festival
Absolutely,
is,
right? Because ticket prices are so low, ticket prices are $10. An audience can take a risk, and shows are an hour long, pretty much maximum. There's a few that are 90 minutes, but I would say 95% of our shows are 60 minutes or shorter, and every ticket is $10 or less.
That's great.
So from an audience perspective, you lose $10 an hour of your time.
Yeah.
That's an okay trade-off to maybe discover something you'll love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the first one is a show called Who Killed Gertrude Crump? This is a new show as well, and it's described as a murder mystery puppet show.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So that one's from Vancouver, from Ryan Gladstone Productions. Then there is one from Los Angeles. His name is Bradley Spann. It's called Me and My Monkey. And it's a true story of him growing up in South Central LA in the 70s with a pet monkey.
Okay.
Like on Friends, right? Like a pet monkey. And that one's been touring the circuit for a while. So it's got good reviews. So I'm confident that one will kind of hit.
Monkey, LA.
Another one is called First Words. So this is a true story from a local artist named Natalie Joy Cannell. So this is a true story of a family that there was a large fire. They had 5 children, and their house was burned down, and all but one of the children were killed in the fire. And then the parents started having more children to replace the children, and named the children with the same names as their deceased siblings.
And this is a true story.
This is a true story. I believe it's a true story of her family. Like it may be, I'm not 100% sure, but it may be her father, maybe the child that survived, and then the rest of his siblings are replacing his previous siblings.
Interesting.
So that one I'm really excited for. Another one is called Kit and Jane, an interactive survival guide to the near post-apocalyptic future. This is a standalone sequel to a show that was here 2 years ago called Little Orange Man, and it was a huge hit. And now they're back with the sequel to that show.
Oh, wow. I think that could be a big success, that one.
Yeah.
With the amount of people, looking forward to the zombie, or maybe not, prepping for the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, right?
And we have all those shows from the States now, too, that people are doomsday preppers or something.
Absolutely.
That's called it. That's fun.
So another one is Women Who Shout at the Stars. So this one is really interesting because the creator of it and the star of it, her name is Carolyn Hetherington. She's 83.
She's going to be performing.
She's performing and she wrote it, and it's her first Fringe show.
Wow.
At 83 years old.
Wow.
So that's she's a great actor. She's been in a bunch of stuff that she's been around for. Well, she's 83. She's been around for a while, but she's been in a bunch of stuff in Toronto and across the country. But she's never done a Fringe show before. So that's kind of really cool. There's another one which is around the office we've said this is our favorite title. Never own anything you have to paint or feed. So it's another American named Howard Petrick who was here a couple of years ago, and he's in his 60s, and he came to theater late as well. But back when he was younger, he was a hobo. So this is kind of stories of his hobo wanderings.
Wow.
So there's that one. Another one, Martin Dockery, another American.
Okay.
It's called The Surprise. So Martin's been here for a number of years. I think is his third consecutive year. And there's 3 shows he's involved in. He's written one, he's written and performing in this one, and he's written and performing in another one with his partner.
Wow.
So this one, The Surprise, is a true story about how his father had a secret family and the siblings he met who were 26 years younger than him.
Oh, wow.
And it's just a solo show, so it's just Martin
acting at all the characters.
Going up there. Well, he doesn't really act so much as he tells. He's more of a monologuist, so he just kind of tells the story.
Okay.
But he's incredibly entertaining. So that's another one that I would definitely put on the list. There's the other one. It's in French. It's from a local company. It's called Fucking Carl. So it's
I've seen the ads for this.
Maybe
I've seen something.
So
about
it's a French show with an English title.
Yeah.
And it's about a white trash couple who are trying to adopt a baby. And it's for an audience of only 16 people, so they've really kind of shrunk the audience. Yeah. And as the audience, you are playing the role of the adoption board. Okay. So they're basically talking to you as the adoption board. And I haven't seen it, but friends of mine have seen it as it's been developed, and they just say it's fantastic. And also,
like a comedy, or
it is a comedy. Okay. Something in that too is it stars a man and a woman, and the woman plays the male part, and the man plays the female part.
Okay,
wow, that'll be fun.
So there's that one, and then there's also I'll talk about 2 more. One is called Deranged Dating. So this one's at Avant-Garde.
Okay.
And it's South African comedian Shirley Kirchman. And she just talks about her experiences dating.
Yeah.
And then the last one I think I'll mention, I could mention 20 more, but in the interest of time, it's called Love Plus Hate. It's the Peptides.
Okay.
And they're doing a show at Mercury Lounge.
That's right.
So it's kind of their concept album.
And and when you go to one of their shows, a lot of it's acted out. Regardless,
so
they're a lot of fun.
Really looking forward to that one.
So they're going to act. Oh, okay, that will be a very interesting one to watch.
Yeah.
Wow. Miller, are you looking up other ones right there?
No, I did have a question though.
Yeah.
A lot of what's the age range that people are being targeted for? Pretty much here. Most of it, I'm assuming, is adults.
Yeah, I mean we have an adult audience. I mean our demographic, if you want to get into that kind of those kind of words, 18 to 34. That's kind of our hit. It's the kind of coveted audience that the mainstream theaters like the NAC and GCTC they want. But it's the demographic that comes to Fringe over anything.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is because that's also the demographic of the main demographic of our artists is 18 to 34.
Gotcha.
So they're coming to see their peers, but also the price point. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, theater can be expensive.
Absolutely.
But at $10, if you're 18, $10 isn't even that much money when you're 18.
Yeah, Al Pacino's coming to talk here. I think the cheapest ticket in the balcony is $90.
Yeah.
So for that, you're seeing 9 shows here.
Exactly.
If you want to listen to Al Pacino, just watch him in in any type of
go on YouTube and watch Inside the Actor Studio, right?
Actor Studio, but
yeah.
So, and front row seats are like $200.
Yes, but at the same time, you do have some things for families at the Fringe Festival. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. So we have a couple. There are some family shows, and again, we don't control that, but that's just this year there happens to be a couple of family shows.
They were drawn in.
Yeah. There's a production of Othello that's done by high school students.
Oh, cool.
That's 60 minutes long. There's an adaptation of some Grimm's fairy tales that's done by students at the Manotick Arts Camp.
Oh, wow.
So there's that as well. But we also run Mini Fringers is a program we offer. So basically on Saturday afternoons, parents can drop their kids off for a 4-hour-long drama camp.
Oh, wow.
Which is $10, or if you have a Fringe pass, it's free. So you drop your kids off at drama camp, and as the parents, you can go and see some grown-up Fringe shows. You come back to pick your kids up, and they do a short little play for you.
Wow,
that's awesome.
15-minute play.
That is great.
Kids love that sort of thing, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What age group is that for?
It's from 4 to 12.
4 to 12.
Yeah, and that's run by... we run that in partnership with OYP Theater School. So their teachers, who are fantastic, they do all the instructing. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It's great for kids.
That's great. Well,
what other? You'd mentioned a lot of local food and drink. Is there anything in particular they can speak of on that?
Our food vendor this year is the Branch Restaurant.
Okay.
So they're located in Kemptville.
I was going to say that's where Brock is doing, I think, one of his CD releases.
So they did food for us a couple of years ago. Last year we had Stone Soup. And then this year we decided to go with the Branch. Stone Soup was great; it just didn't work out this year.
Yeah.
So we went with the Branch again, and they're super stoked to be here.
Where will you be able to get that food?
In the courtyard.
In the courtyard,
Yeah.
with like after the shows.
After, before, between, during, if you're not in a show.
Okay.
Right on.
Yeah.
And what sort of local beer is going to be on here?
McCausland.
Oh, McCausland.
Yeah, McCausland's our beer sponsor. So
where are they from?
They're based in Montreal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they've been our sponsor for a long, long time. They're really good to us.
Right.
And they sponsor actually a bunch of fringes across the country. They do the beer for us, for Toronto, for Montreal, for Vancouver.
Oh, that's good.
They're a big supporter.
Who designed your poster this year? It's excellent.
Northern Army.
Northern Army
Creative Agency.
And they're
local. They're on Ottawa. Yeah.
Northern Army.
They're located on Somerset and Metcalfe.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, they've done it. They rebranded us 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. So
Yeah.
big shout out to Northern Army. Anyways, and also Nancy Kenny, who
Yes.
she teaches. She talks very highly of the Fringe Festival, and she's going to be recording a documentary about the Fringe scene. So we're going to be really excited to see that. And she did her one-person show just recently again, right?
Yeah, well, she did. She premiered that show here 2 years ago, maybe 3, but I think it was 2.
Roller derby saved my life.
Yeah, and then she did a one night only here at the end of May.
Yeah.
I think it might have been literally May 30th. And now she's on a cross-country Fringe tour. So she's going to London, Montreal, Toronto, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Vancouver.
Yeah.
She's doing the whole circuit.
Documenting the whole thing. So we're going to have a
pretty cool.
documentary, and that's going to debut in Ottawa. She wants that to debut here next year. So for everybody, we'll be able to see the life on the road of Fringe artists. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, thanks so much for that,
Yeah, thanks
Patrick.
a lot.
Hey, thank you.
So again, the dates for everybody?
So June 19 to 29. Our kickoff party is June 18th.
Where is that?
That's open to the public?
Open to the public. It's free, the kickoff party.
Free, I will be
at
there.
At Arts Court. That's when To React and Still Native are playing. Shows begin on June 19th, run through the 29th. Tickets are $10 or less. You can get them in advance at ottawafringe.com. Or you can show up at the box office. You can show up at the venue an hour before and then go on sale then.
Take a risk.
That's awesome.
All right, so next week we are going to be doing our show live from the Dragon Boat Festival with John, and we're going to try to round up some Dragon Boaters to tell us what drives them to make the A-frame and go forward non-stop.
Can't wait. It's going to be fun.
So that's going to be a little fun. But events, we like to talk about events going on this weekend. There's lots. Tonight, Homes with Wolves is a charity that they're going to be auctioning off custom-made dog houses for the Humane Society at City Hall from 4:30 to 8:30. So that's going to be very interesting.
Going to be neat.
Silent auction, table with food, all dog-related and animal-related. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, World Cup. I'm Dutch, so Spain for the Dutch at Hooley's, and Hooley's will be open for Dutch or Dutch fans or anybody that wants to see a huge sea of orange and have a lot of fun. So we'll see that there. Explosion Festival started last night, and the reviews from Ottawa Showbox was it was an incredible night. And some of the shows are here at the Arts Court. Italian Festival starts tomorrow on Preston all this weekend.
Yeah,
I know they have a screen outdoors for the
Italy. I think it's Italy and England.
Italy, England at 6 p.m.
Yeah,
so that'll be fun. West Fest, of course, we've already spoken about that. Saturday, I got Bose and the Ottawa International Film Festival has a Big Lebowski bowling and beats night with Atherton DJing at West Park Lanes. Domicile at the Domicile's Nuovo Sales Center. They have a night mercado with several local vendors. That's going to be fun. What do you got?
Cool. Well, this is something that I've never even heard about. It's Ottawa's 4th annual really free market. Flea market without price tags.
Okay.
People drop off the stuff they don't want anymore and they pick up stuff that they need. It's going to be from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. with drop-offs until 1 p.m. and that's at 206 Montreal Road. So that's pretty cool.
Free market.
Free stuff. You go and you either drop stuff off that you don't want or and you pick up other things there.
You'll be there all day.
That sounds like a pretty good idea. You never know.
There all day.
Yeah.
You love that. What else?
Also Father's Day on Sunday, don't forget.
Right. Oh, yes. Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, I think, with all those festivals.
Buy local. Support local. Buy. See the sausage is opening up tomorrow. So that's on Gladstone. So if you're get your dad's stuff for barbecue. They have so much awesome local things going on.
There you go. You can't go wrong with beer and barbecue for the old man.
There you go.
Hit up a couple of our breweries around town, get them a couple of growlers and some barbecue stuff, and there you go.
That's all you need. There you go.
I think that's about it. We got one more tune coming up from Brock.
Oh, well, on Monday there's Flux. The Flux put on by Danny Mongin from Hooch, and that's going to be, and that's for the Shepherds of Good Hope.
Oh, right on.
And that was talked about by Don and Jen last week. Don and Jen are very busy with the project. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about, so they didn't have a...
Top secret. We'd have to kill you all.
Top secret, so I can't mention it yet. But here's one last song. It's from Brock Zeman. It's called There Will Always Be a Right Number One. That is our podcast, The Right Number One. No, I'm kidding.
Have a good weekend, guys, and thanks a lot, Pat.
Thanks very much, Pat.
Thank you.
Have a great...
There will always be a right now. It breaks off and floats around the atmosphere. I see back then as it was as I'm standing here. It starts fading the second time it comes around. There will always be a right now. 'Cause in this big mess we're all walking through, back then can't help but catch back up to you and ride your shadow around. There will always be a right now. There will always be a back then. You leave traces of yourself all along the way. Your dust caught in the sunlight coming through a window pane of a little house in a little town. There will always be a back then. The thoughts you think can't help but make the thing gets cropped and labeled every time you blink. Works like a merry-go-round. Oh, but every pretty headache hits a pillow on my bed, and you get further away. Thoughts that I take on dilute the older ones. I'll fan you out until you hiss and fade and fade. Face and a name. There will